Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Women Who AI Summit. Day 2 has been so much fun talking to all of these female pioneers when it comes to AI innovation. And this session is certainly one that I've been waiting for because I am here with my amazing friend, Elaine Turso. Welcome, Elaine.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you here. We have so much fun when we get on interviews and summits together. And I know when I think about innovative and creativity when it comes to technology and AI, you are one of the first people that I always think about. So I know that this session is going to be valuable and fun. And all the things. So, thank you for joining us. Elaine, I know you're not a stranger to the summit because I believe you were on our
The
very
very
first.
first one.
Yes. Yeah. You are an OG Women Who AI, which I love, and I can't believe that we're already on the 3rd summit, which is
Mhm.
crazy.
I know. I love
Um,
it. I love what you're doing.
I know. It's so fun. And so for those of you joining us, if you don't know Elaine Turso is a business consultant who offers done-for-you services and CRM setup. She uses technology to help her clients streamline, optimize, and automate their business process. They have more time to spend doing what they love and not just having to babysit their business. And if I'm not mistaken, Elaine, isn't automate like a main word in your business?
Oh, yeah, it's called You Can
Yeah.
Automate.
Right. So, you've had this business before ChatGPT came to be part of the
Yeah.
conversation,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
So, and I know you've always been very tech savvy because even before AI, you were leveraging technology and using technology to do those things to optimize and to automate.
Mhm.
So, where did this start? Like, have you always been a techie? Is this something that really just came to be because you were like, there's got to be a smarter way to do this? Like, what's been your journey?
Well, I started out as a photographer, right? And then turned business consultant. And I'm very much my brain thinks in terms of process I'm like Goodwill Hunting, the female version, but like you see processes, my brain just starts going, oh, if we do it this way, we could do it this way. And I'm like, "Oh my god." So, I've always kind of had this technology kind of thing, like, the very first automations I was using was Zapier, because it was, like, really the only automation tool that was really out there at the time, and now, because it was always, "How can I make things talk to each other?" Because there wasn't a whole lot of integration back then, and now I use Zapier less because a lot of the tools that I'm using already have an integration in them. And if it doesn't integrate, I'm like, how do I make it integrate? I want everything to be able to talk to each other because then it makes less work for me in the end if I can make things do everything under one roof, which is why I love the platforms that I use, is because everything is under one roof versus having 13 different systems and softwares and tools that I was using before to run my business. And I always joke that I was the hot mess express because try to keep up with that. Try. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so, tell me when and where you first discovered AI. Like, I have a feeling that you knew AI way before the Chat GPT conversation, like many of our female pioneers on the summit did. So, like, what was your first interaction with AI?
Well, first having something automatically transcribe. That was like probably the very first AI tool that I discovered. I think it was Otter was the first one that I ever used. And I was like, wow, this is so cool because I don't want to sit there and type out everything. And I know there has to be a better way. And like, I even one time was like, well, maybe I could play the video and have Google Docs open and have it voice capture and type out the things. And I'm like, no, there has to be a better way. And so Otter was the first thing that I really used. And then I discovered Descript, and Descript kind of changed the whole game because that level of AI was mind blowing. And you don't know what you don't know, right? And it was somebody else mentioning it. I'm like, what? What? It does what? And that really helped catapult things for me because I'm a video person. Like I can make videos all day long. And then it's like, okay, I made a video, but I don't want it to just be video. I want to do other stuff with it.
Mhm.
And so then it was taking that video, transcribing it is like the first thing, and then dispersing it into other areas. But yeah, so Otter was my very first like little AI thing. And then I would say I outgrew Otter and needed something more robust. And that's when I found Descript. And that was way before ChatGPT was a thing.
Yeah. Well, so I have to ask you, right? Because in my eyes, you're always an early adopter. Like I know that if there's something that's happening, if there's a new tool, I just saw your post about the whole email, whatever change.
Yeah, DeMark. I
Mark.
gendered I gendered DeMark. I was like, he's an asshole.
Well, it's funny because I saw the thing about DeMark. I've been hearing people talk about DeMark. I got this weird little toggle that keeps coming up on my email, and I was like, I know that's the thing. And then I saw your post, and I was like, of course, Elaine figured it out, and she's going to help the rest of us, right? And she's like conquered it. But I want to know because you are like truly that female pioneer. Like you get in there, you're always kind of an early adopter of things. You are one of the ones, like I mentioned, who when something's coming up, you're one of the first I know to even to speak about the solution and things like that. In a world of like limitless AI tools, right? And all the things. And I know off camera, we were even just sharing about some tools where you're like, what? I got to go check it out.
Yeah.
What is your approach? How do you keep yourself one like not getting overwhelmed, right? But like how do you dive into like all of these things without feeling that like oh there's too many, or things like that? What's your approach when you're really like I love this AI tool. I want to figure it out and so forth.
Mhm. So I tend to look at things as in what can this make my clients' lives easier? Because I do everything in service of my clients. And so when I'm researching or I'm, trying to do my due diligence, I am also a huge fan of I will go into a Facebook group and search keywords in order to find what other people are saying and hearing about their experience or saying, oh, you got to do this, that helps me help my clients. And so I will take a little bit of time in order to learn the things, because if I can learn the thing, then I can teach the thing. And so my thing is always if I can learn it, I can teach it. And if I can teach it, then I can help someone else avoid pain. I can help them avoid frustration or overwhelm. So I will go into the trenches to figure it out so that I can help someone else. Like the whole DeMark thing, I learned from somebody else because I was stuck in the mud and going, "What the hell? Like, what am I doing wrong?" And spending, 30 minutes, $47 and going to this guy's class, I was like mind blown. And then I reached out to him personally and said, struggling. Can you help me? He's like, yeah, let's hop on Zoom. 5 minutes, boom, done. I was like, oh my goodness. So then I was able to take that information and say, by the way, here's his class that you can go take too if you need it. But here's what I learned in a nutshell so that other people didn't have to go through the struggle. And I literally was for my clients, I spent 2 days, I'm not even joking, adding records to people's DNSs and waiting for GoDaddy to send me the damn verification code that would take 10 minutes to land in my inbox, just so that people didn't have to stress out about those things. So I'm always trying to figure out how can I make things easy for people. So, A2P brand registration, if you're wanting to be a texter, if you're wanting to send emails now, having to mark, like having all of these restrictions on business owners, I need to know what they are so that I can help prevent that frustration or overwhelm that's coming because it will come and they will go, "Ew, I got you. Don't worry." My tagline is I'll be there for you, just like friends, right? Because it really is true. I will be there for you and I will help you figure it out.
And you said something early on, which I think for me was like a huge takeaway is you really take a look at whether or not the tool is something that can help your clients, right? Because
Yeah.
what I do know happens in a world of all of these amazing tools, it's very easy. And I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation this week in different, communities, is how much time we spend trying to learn a thing, right?
Mhm.
And Descript was actually part of one of these conversations was someone's trying to do like some video podcasting. They have all this great content. They're trying to learn Descript. They spend 3 days trying to figure out Descript. And then in reality, they don't even ever edit or clip their content because now they're, trying to learn the tool. And, the question is like, is this like, am I going to see an ROI? Like, if I
Yeah.
sit and I spend 4 hours not working my business, but trying to learn a tool, is that tool in the end going to come back and actually help my clients, help me generate revenue? In that specific conversation, it was like, are you going to get that time back? And is your 5 YouTube video clips going to be worth the time that you spent?
Yeah.
And who knows? I'm gonna guess maybe not, like, at first, or
Right.
not for a while, but I love that you kind of have that deciphering question because you already know that you're not just spending time learning a tool for yourself. You're learning a tool that is actually going to serve the people that you work with, and so it's, like, already a double win,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because now I become the hero.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you wanna start charging to help us all with DeMarc? Like, let's just start there. I think you're gonna have
Girl,
a
I don't want to. I
I
don't
think I have
want
a
to.
really long time.
Please don't make me.
Well, because that's the other thing, right? I
Yeah.
literally the other morning was gonna send out an email. I got the thing and I was like, I need to figure this out. I maybe had 45 minutes to send the email out, plenty of time. And now it's 45 minutes and I still don't know what DeMarc's problem is. And I never sent out the email. Right.
Right.
And so it's just like,
Mhm.
and it's so easy to happen in the world of AI
Yeah.
is just like there's so many new tools.
Yeah.
Most of them have a learning curve. And then it's
Mhm.
like, is actually learning this tool going to help my business? Is it going to help my
Yeah.
clients, right? Is it going to be something that isn't an added skill that now I can bring to the table? Or am I just like
Mhm.
playing in the sandbox for no reason?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Spinning.
Well, I will tell you, I created a whole little landing page just specifically for DeMarc to help people. There's a wizard, an inspector, and then there's a link for the workshop that I took. But it's elaineturso.com/DeMarc, like for real. And I literally put all the tools on there and like, here, go see if you're in compliance. So use the inspector. And then if you're not, click on the wizard and it will generate the records that you need. And then, right? So I tried to make it super easy for people who were like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, here's what I know. Here's everything that I know in one spot, and anybody who needs it can utilize it and access it. But I'm not calling myself an expert. I'm just passing along information. Okay.
It's well, and that's also where I think you're so gracious, right? Is I think a lot of people maybe, I mean, they're going to have super bad karma one day for doing this, but I think there's a lot of people that are like, it took me all day to figure it out. So you go figure it out. Like, what, if I had to spend the time to do it, like you need to spend the time to do it. And why am I going to, which is not ideal, right?
I'm not that way.
No,
Nope.
you're not. And so I would like to ask, because I know a lot of people turn to you when it comes to technology and how to do the things. What do you find you are most asked about when it comes to AI usage?
It's about the CRM, and it's about basically like which CRM. And so I'm actually creating a quiz because I'm trying to help people solve this problem, which is which CRM is best for my business, because not all tools are created equal and not everybody needs the same things. Some people want to be able to teach courses and some people don't need that feature. So if you don't need this feature, which one's best for you? If you do need this feature and you need all of these other features, which one is best for you? And so I'm in the process of figuring out and doing a lot of data research. And I'll be doing a lot of free trials of programs this weekend to verify that all my information is accurate because I want to give accurate, unbiased results and really be able to help people. But a lot of the questions I get are around CRMs and which one do I need and what do they do? Why do I need it? How can I use it to best I want to be able to do this. Can it do that? Or they don't know what they don't know, so they don't know what questions to ask about features or whatever. I had 2 conversations today. Literally, a gal's like, tell like she's a tell me some of the things that it can do. What have you done? So that she could imagine how she could utilize that feature in her business. And
Mhm.
then somebody else is the complete opposite and has no idea, and her brain doesn't work that way. So I love that there's a way that our brains can help each other in the different ways that we think and the different ways that we operate. And so being able to say, what features do you need? Examples of how you could use it, and then how could you turn that example into use it for something for your business. It's the end result though is, how is this going to save me time? How can I save time? How can I automate that so that I don't have to manually? There was somebody today, she was like, I'm going to go in and change all the expiration dates. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to send me that spreadsheet and I will upload it for you because we're not doing manual labor. This is 2024. We're not going to manually enter dates into a system when we have a tool to be able to import that CSV file and automatically populate those fields. We're not doing that.
Mm.
So I'm just, how can we work smarter and not harder? And you don't know what you don't know. So when you don't know, you go ask somebody and say, what do you think? What would be the best thing for me? But you need to find somebody that has your best interest at heart and not my best interest at heart.
Mhm.
Because my job is not to sell you a CRM. My job is to help you figure out what's best for you and your business.
So in the world of CRMs, since you're like now getting very well versed in a lot of different CRMs,
Mhm.
where are you seeing AI change the landscape for those CRMs?
So I'm seeing AI tools being brought in as there's like a Liza girl that's scheduling appointments for people automatically. I'm seeing chat bots where people are having conversations with an AI tool. And so the business owner is not having necessarily to be monitoring their business 24 hours a day. If a customer reaches out and has a specific question, you can program it to automatically answer in whatever way you want it. I haven't dove into a lot of those yet because I still want to be a human, but I see the benefit. If you have a company that's $1 million company, you probably don't have the time to answer individual questions from 100 people a day, right? I'm not that big, right? So I can still have a human element to my business, but I can use AI tools to make my job a little bit easier and not do manual labor. But I think there are some very interesting things, and I think the people that are quick adapters are going to succeed. The people that are open and remain curious and ask questions and try to figure out how, not I can't, but how can I make that happen? How can I make this a reality for my business? I think those are the people that are going to really kind of transform the landscape and really move forward and level up in their business versus staying stale and stagnant and just not not adapting. I mean, otherwise you're going to be like Toys R Us, right? Toys
Mhm.
R Us did not adapt. And look what happened. Now they have a comeback, but still, if you don't adapt, you die. So you got to look at where are things going and how can I join in? Don't get left behind.
No, my heart just sank for Jeffrey the giraffe.
I know. But I mean, do you know what I mean? Like they
I
didn't
do.
adapt to
I
what
do.
people were wanting. And so what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. So for you, right? I know you are well versed in Go High Level. I know you're all about tech and automation and things like that. How are you using AI on a daily basis, and what AI tools do you use on a daily basis?
So I use Descript to because like I said, I love to do video. I love Opus.pro to cut those videos up automatically for me, and then I can have a lot of short form content. I use ChatGPT a lot for like I used it the other day to help a client come up with her market a 30-day marketing schedule. I'm like, okay, this is the goal. Give me some ideas of things that she could post for the next 30 days and then creating, hey, here's a whole list of motivational quotes you could choose from. Here's a whole list of blog topics you could write about. Here's a whole list of whatever. So, like, I just love that it makes it so we don't have to start at zero. We don't have to start from scratch. We could say, here's what we're looking for. And then it provides some things maybe you didn't consider, you know? I love also, Go High Level has a social scheduler in it, which I find to be incredibly helpful, especially when I was doing my own summit, right? We would record a podcast and then, I would have my assistant basically take it, put it into Descript, create an audiogram. I still use an assistant because even though there's a lot of AI tools, I still want to have a human element. And being able to have somebody go in and schedule all of the posts to all of the places at one time, holy moly. Like that just makes life so much easier rather than having to manually go and do that. So, and when I did my summit, the amount of automation that I added to it made my life so much easier. And then I literally can package it up and sell it to someone else who wants to do a summit and have the entire process automated. And it makes things so much easier when you can create an automation that says, send them this agreement, send them this invoice, add this tag, remove this tag, add them to this workflow, all from one thing. And I'm like, oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. So I'm always very impressed. And where I learn about a lot of my AI tools, TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok, people are sharing about the different AI tools that they find and that they're using. I have a couple that I screenshotted that I want to go check out. But like, I love it when people share those tools. And one of the tools that I loved sharing was Miro, however you say it, being able to like I'm a visual person and to show me the process and like show other people like here's how you could do this and having this visual process mapped out. When I showed that platform on TikTok, it got so many views because people love to learn about ways to make their lives easier. And when they're like, "What? I didn't know that was out there." And so
Yeah.
just being able to share nuggets and tools and things that are out there that can help us, I'm all about it. Share the love.
I love it because, I think there is more and more access, right, to
Mm.
tools and people sharing the tools and things like that. And I think that that's a really like important way that we're all going to evolve with the tools. You were talking about poor Jeffrey, right? Like, how do we adopt? And I think that there are definitely, obviously the summit's all about pioneers. So these are our early adopters, innovation. I'm going to dedicate the time. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do the thing. And I also know there's a lot of participants watching the summit where maybe they're not there yet. Maybe they've tried ChatGPT, maybe they tried Opus, and they're like, "Oh, and it didn't come out just right, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I just don't have the time," right? Like, they're not gonna get sucked down the hole like I did, wasting 45 minutes, an hour trying to figure out the thing. And then it's like, well, then what, right? Like, do they get left behind? Do they not become adopters because they just don't have the time to figure it out? And so, like, where do we all come in? Like, where do we fit in? Where do we help everybody kind of move towards where we're going to be? Because if we're gonna ask, where are we gonna be with AI, what would you say? Like,
Mhm.
do you think we're gonna
Yeah. It's amazing to me how much AI is already kind of taking the world by storm. Sometimes I worry if it's too much too fast. And I'm always worried about, there's always people that are going to ruin it for everybody. This is why we can't have nice things because somebody out there is going to misuse the tool, right? We've already seen it with, voice things and whatever horrible, horrible things that people have gone through thinking that their loved one is in a terrible accident or something like that, right? And I need money. Why we can't have nice things, right? Always somebody is going to ruin it. But I think that the fear of AI is going to take over our job market, I think is just fear mongering. I don't think that's true because I still think we still need humans. But do we really need a human to take our order at McDonald's?
Right.
No. No, we don't. We don't need a human to take our order at McDonald's because we can easily do that on an app, on a screen, and order it just the way we want it. We can't have AI making it,
Right.
but we don't need somebody at the front to manage it. And I think that's where it allows what's really important versus what's necessary. What's necessary. And so I think with the amount of innovation that's coming out, I mean, I saw a dude on TikTok that's using AI tools to make ad sets for his business and spending millions of dollars on ads, but utilizing them in a way that AI helped him create all of it. And he was like, I took a picture of his kitchen or something. It was all messy. And he goes, create controversy and allow people to argue in the comments. It's a great way apparently to
Oh,
make a
yeah.
lot of money. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
but and AI told him to do it, right? Like told him to create controversy. And he's like, all right, let's try it. And it worked.
Yeah.
So if we look at it as an assistant and not a replacement, I think that's how we can best utilize I think in our lives and in our businesses.
Mhm. And, it's been so much of a conversation, I think, not just in this summit, but in past summits around recognizing that if anybody needs an assistant, it's females, right? Like
Yeah.
most of us spin all the plates. Like we're not just business owners and moms and wives. We're maids, we're cooks, we're chauffeurs, we're personal shoppers, right? We're accountants, like we're all the things.
Mhm.
And, we're always looking for that, like, where can I get assistance? And I think you're right. And I love that you shared that example around the TikTok, because I think
Mhm.
some of the things that we forget is that AI as a partner can also give us ideas. It can also help
Yes.
us brainstorm. It can
Yep.
maybe help us think of things or see different perspectives that we haven't looked at or seen before. I know the other day I had to get a proposal out and it was based on like a conversation that I had had maybe a few days before. And it was like, it was right around now. Like I tend to like around 3 o'clock, my brain just starts to like putter out a little bit and I can't do a
Mhm.
whole lot.
Girl,
But I
same.
was but I was like, "I gotta get this proposal out," right? Like, I whatever, and so I just didn't have the mental bandwidth to sit and write, like, a professional proposal. And
Mhm.
so I went to ChatGPT and I was like, "I had a conversation. This is what we talked about. This is what the person wants. This is what I think can happen for this person. This is where I think the support can be. Write me a proposal." So, like, where I couldn't put the pretty I didn't have the pretty version. I had, like, the down and dirty version of it, and so I just told it like I would an assistant. If I was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
this is what's going on with this client. Can you put a proposal together?" And then it was like 30 seconds later, I was like, there it is. That's all right. That's all that I
Yeah.
needed. And so
Mhm.
I think that so much of the conversation, and you're talking about how far AI has come. If you remember back from the first summit, we were very focused on prompts,
Yep.
right? It was very much a what's the prompt? What's the prompt? What prompts are you doing? And things like that. And now we're at that point where it's just like, I want to create a TikTok video that goes viral. What should
Yep.
I do? Right. And it's
Yeah.
really like
Exactly.
having that conversation with it. And we forget. And
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that I'm recognizing, obviously, for all of our community. They're in the Women Who AI community. So they're already one step further than
Mhm.
many of the people who are not part of the conversation. which is
Yeah.
a lot of freaking people, right?
Mhm.
But even people
Mhm.
who are new to the conversation may still be in that, do I need a prompt?
Yeah.
Right? And we know there's still a lot of people selling prompts, their $47 thing, not recognizing that you don't. And I get asked that all the time. What's the prompt for that? What did you put
Yeah.
for that? Did you put a prompt
Sure.
for that? And I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
just told it to not
Yeah.
be sarcastic.
I've never purchased a prompt.
Yeah.
I've never needed to
Yeah.
purchase a prompt. I
Yeah.
tell it what it is I'm doing.
Yeah.
What am I trying to accomplish? This is what I need. Give me a list of 10 whatever and boom, done.
Yeah.
Like I didn't need to buy a $47 prompt to tell me how to utilize it. I just told it what I needed and it just did it.
Yes.
And then I could say, "No, I need more. Give me more details," or rewrite that. That's a terrible sentence.
And I think that's your innovation, right? That's the innovation of that we're talking about is like, you don't need to go and buy a prompt from the
Right.
person,
Yeah.
right? Like, trust
Yeah.
yourself enough to know that you can have a
Yeah.
conversation and communicate with it in a way that will allow you to get quality results that you're looking for. You don't need to rely on someone else's prompt to get you the
Yep.
results that you want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fear of the people that are unfamiliar with it and they don't know where to go, they don't know how to get started, and instead of just trying it, they're just staying stuck in the fear of, "Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm just not going to."
Yeah. I would
And
definitely
they don't
agree.
realize that there's so much more on the other side of that fear. You can't break it. Like, that's the beauty of it, and I tell people all the time in my CRM, I'm like, "Here's a demo account, go play around." You can't break it.
Mhm.
You can't break it. Like, there's this, "Oh my god, I don't wanna click that button." Clicking the button isn't gonna do anything but take you over here to show you more information. It's not gonna take away your firstborn child if
Yeah.
you click the button,
Right. Right.
you
For
know?
some people, unfortunately, it will not take away your firstborn child no matter how hard you try. Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So speaking of CRMs, I know you have a gift for all of our participants, and it has to do with CRMs and that project that you're working on. So can you share a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to share the quiz, which CRM is best for my business, and then along with that is going to be an amazing intricate PDF that my assistant is working on right now to really give people more information about the various CRMs and which one truly is going to be best for their business. And so I'm going to be really excited when that gets launched. My goal is to launch that here very, very soon. And so everybody will get access to that. And then I'm also going to be including my 10-step process that I use in order to use AI to create 73 pieces of content with one 20-minute video.
Ooh. Hello.
I know. I counted like
Oh my
how
God.
many pieces of content could I create with one video. And I sat down and counted it all.
And that can be just with ChatGPT?
It'll use
Or
Descript, it'll
okay.
use Yes, and a scheduler.
Amazing. Amazing. Which
Yeah,
and that is so valuable because for all of you watching who are in that like chat GPT, I'm ready to kind of branch out because I know there's more tools available, but I'm not really sure how. Elaine has that answer for you because she's going to give you those step-by-step instructions so that you can widen your little AI wings and go outside of chat GPT because there is more out there. So thank you, Elaine, for bringing that
you're
gift to us
welcome.
and to everyone as part of the summit.
Yes, of course. Thanks so much for having me. I love what you're doing. I love that you're evolving along with the tools, and the more we progress, the more tools are coming available. And even like we were talking before, like, "Oh my god, what? That exists?" I had no idea, right? Because sometimes I'm in my little bubble
Yeah.
and I only go where my clients need me to go, and so sometimes I'm in my bubble, and so I love coming outside of my bubble and finding new things too.
Yes, and we love learning from you. So thank you so much for being a part of our summit again. Yeah. And thanks everybody for joining this session. I know you got lots of nuggets and you're all chomping at the bit to get your hands on Elaine's tools. I know I am, and I'm gonna try to sneak a peek before the summit even drops because I want to see all of those different pieces of content. So thanks everyone for having fun with us and joining us in this session. And we'll see you in the next session of the Women Who AI Summit. Take care.